I'm Daniel Priestley, and in this video, I really want to talk to you about how to promote your scorecard so you can get even more leads flowing through the scorecard. So there are a number of ways that you can start getting people to take the scorecard so you can get more and more leads every single week. So let me run through the top 7 ways that we've promoted scorecards in the past that are the most highly effective. So putting a website banner on your existing website is just an easy way to get people filling in the scorecard. We've had numerous clients who just by adding a banner to their existing website have seen 2 to 10 leads every single day coming in, people who would normally disappear from the website, but because they saw something to do, fill in a scorecard, they actually took action, they did it, and now they've signaled their interest that they want to talk to someone. So definitely make sure that you feature the scorecard on your website. Number 2, set up an email signature. So every single email that you send has a little line at the bottom that says, would you like to know how to achieve X, Y, and Z? Why not take the scorecard or take the self-assessment scorecard or get some custom insights, get some custom tips by taking the scorecard. You probably send something like 1,000 to 10,000 emails out every single year. So this is just a simple way to turn that into lead generation, where people who see your emails can either take a scorecard themselves or forward it on to somebody that they know who should be taking the scorecard. The third way is social media. Obviously, you've got your LinkedIn, your Twitter, you've probably got Facebook and Instagram. So why not create a little campaign for each of your social media channels in order to promote your scorecard? You could do a product launch similar to how Apple does a product launch for everything new that they come up with. And you could actually do a launch on Twitter. You could do a launch on Facebook, do a Facebook Live video announcing the scorecard. Maybe you could do a big long post about the scorecard or a blog or an article on LinkedIn. So make sure that you really fully utilize the features on each of your social media platforms in order to launch the scorecard on each of those platforms. Now, if you've got existing content like podcasts, videos, and blogs, here's a couple of things that you can do. You can go back through all the old podcasts, videos, and blogs and update them with updated notes, giving people a call to action in the notes so that if people are looking at the video on YouTube, it just says in the comment section or in the description section, if you're interested in this video, why not take the scorecard? You can do that with blogs. At the bottom of the blog, you can have a call to action with the scorecard. And then future blogs, videos, articles, podcasts that you put out, you can always start them or finish them with a call to action to do the scorecard. Now, I know people who do regular podcasts and they're actually creating several scorecards to relate to each of the different types of content that they're talking about in their podcast. So in one example, someone who has a guest on talking about relationships, they have a relationship scorecard at the end of that podcast. The next guest is about business and entrepreneurship. They have a business and entrepreneurship scorecard that goes with that particular podcast. So keep in mind that you can get really creative with this. If you've got lots of people listening to your podcast or watching your videos, you could create several scorecards that relate to the different content that you're putting out. Now, the piece of content that is really powerful, and this is where it all began, is books. So if you've got a book, you can put a bookmark that instructs people to go to the scorecard. You can, when you reprint the book, have a special page dedicated to telling people to go to the scorecard. Or if you're in the process of writing a book, you can actually put a whole section in the book that talks about the scorecard and gives people the URL in the book while they're reading the book. The 6th one is advertising. Now, I personally believe that most businesses should be spending somewhere between 5 and 10% of revenue on advertising. It's incredible how targeted the advertising can be. Using tools like Facebook advertising or Google advertising, you can really be putting a message in front of your exact type of customer that you want to be talking to. And one of the best things that you can put in front of them is the opportunity to take the scorecard. Now, it's probably the case that scorecard leads will be a little bit more expensive than simple name and email leads. So if you've already been using Facebook ads to generate leads for something like a free download where you collect a name and an email, you're probably going to get cheaper leads when it's just simply a name and email address, but you'll get much more qualified leads when you get people to go through and answer 30 or 40 questions on a scorecard. So me personally, I would rather fewer leads at a slightly higher price, but know that they're qualified rather than cheaper leads, but they're not qualified. So especially when you add up the cost of following up with those leads, it tends to be that the qualified leads are worth a little bit of extra spend for advertising. The seventh way is to do joint ventures and partnerships. So I've done several joint ventures where I've asked people to mail out to my scorecard and I've paid them a commission based upon people who've come through the scorecards. I've done a scorecard in conjunction with an event. So there's lots of different ways that you can joint venture and partner around getting people to complete a scorecard. It's a great one to partner with because it's a win-win tool where the person who's recommending it is actually recommending that somebody gets some really tailored content that's useful for them. So those are 7 ways to promote your scorecard. And between those 7 ways, you should have absolutely no problem generating a steady stream of leads. So we've seen this with our clients who run Facebook ads. This is an example, the Financial Clarity Scorecard. These are the ads that they've been running. Here's an example. This is called August, the awards company. And this is where they've put the banner right at the top. In the top left-hand corner, it says, take the awards test. And it actually takes you through a test that helps you to win awards. And it's 30 questions. And then you get a report to say whether you should be entering for awards or not. Here's an example. This is Gabriella, who wrote a book called The Fertility Breakthrough, and she gives away thousands of copies of her books through different promotions, and all of the books encourage people to go to the website and to take the scorecard. So that's a huge part of her lead generation strategy for her fertility clinic. So those are just a few examples of how people are promoting their scorecard. I'm sure with those 7 different ways to promote your scorecard, you'll have a steady stream of really great, hot, qualified leads coming through to your business every single day.